Pisces, good morning. So, yes, this is your weekly oracle and tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries. The tarot card is the extensive and nitty gritty, and that is the link below in the description box. Please do join me. And this is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. It's Pisces energy. This is an oracle energy reading. So wherever Pisces influences your life, including if you're dealing with Pisces. Channeled message came out really interesting. There's definitely an advantage, even though things may be harder right now, there is an advantage to being uncomfortable. And the discomfort with you is very native in that, Neptune is in retrograde, and it is in retrograde in Pisces. So all of those things that had been mysterious to you, all of those things that you had been very happy not knowing, are being exposed. At least you're getting glimpses of them. So there is a sense and maybe even a little bit of discomfort in knowing those things. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with partnership. Neptune is running almost really opposing the sun right now and Mercury. So how much you speak about something, how you speak about something, how you say something, the confidence that you have versus what you see. You may be making comments or making statements that are not necessarily accurate, but you feel that they are. In other words, without doing enough investigation and really understanding what is going on, you could be speaking very strongly about something. Now, this would mostly impact your personal relationships, those relationships that impact your life every day. So not just work relationships, though it could be work relationships. I mean, we do have a wonky time. Pluto is just this close from going into Aquarius, but Jupiter and Capricorn are still, Pluto's in retrograde too. Saturn are still in retrograde as well. Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn technically are still in Capricorn. So this is really a time when not looking at details, not paying attention to details is not going to be tolerated at all. In fact, this is the time to look at the details and to basically make sure you know before you say. So if you're dealing with a Leo especially, there might be a lot of clashes now because there could be a lot of statements being made or a lot of I don't want to say blatant accusations. I think it's softer than that. I just think there's conclusions being drawn or being made that are not necessarily accurate conclusions. And whether it's you or whether it's them, it doesn't matter. Those inaccurate conclusions are going to demonstrate and drag up a lot of the issues that you have in your relationship. And they may even be, especially with Chiron in retrograde and the moon being present with Mars in Aries is weakening it. It's making it a little bit more wishy-washy and uncertain. So there is that sense for you guys of feeling emotionally feisty, but it not being as sincere as it should be. The confidence that you're feeling is not as integral or deep confidence as it should be before making decisions or making especially statements. There's a lot of emphasis here on communication and how confidently we speak about something before we know about it is either something that you're dealing with externally or that you're internally producing. So it's either you or it's them, but there is that strong sense, like I was saying before, of you guys being very impacted now with confidence versus competence. And I've spoken about this a lot, this sense of being judged or being critical, before, like criticism or judgment impacting you very strongly, coming at you very strongly before it's actually vetted or verified. So this could really be frustrating you, especially with somebody who is close to you, especially if you have a spouse or a long-term companion or somebody that you love. Whoever you love, it's going to impact you the most with, because these kind of brash, abrasive statements are going to fuck up the way somebody else, the way that you feel about each other. I don't think it will destroy it. There's no destruction here, but the lack of empathy is not you. It's just not who you really are. But you're being pushed into this wonky stage where you're being given almost a false sense of confidence in what you know, mixing up, confusing what you know, what you vetted, what you verified for what you feel, and those feelings being given too much confidence and too much strength, so that when you speak, you're speaking with confidence about something that is not necessarily real, or at least the complete story. And that's the energy that you're dealing with right now. So I do anticipate there being a lot of frustration, especially when it comes to personal relationships. And if you do get to have any conversations with people, I would not be surprised of how surprised you are with their perspective or their point of view being so different than yours, and them seeing things in a completely different way, simply because there is this assumption now that, simply because of the assumption of following those impulses, following those feelings, and not getting all the information underneath. So there is that sense of it's not false confidence. The confidence is absolutely real. It's just because you have confidence in something doesn't mean you have competence in it. And you're definitely dealing with that grind. You're definitely coming up against that mentality that's very, very frustrating, especially if this is a newer relationship, or relationships that have a relationship that has had issues with communications in the past. This is a reemergence of those circumstances and those situations. I just realized the lighting is really bad. I'm going to try to fix it. Hold on. That stabilizes things a little bit, makes it a little bit more clear, a little bit better. Yeah, so I do anticipate that this is predominantly causing issues with your most personal relationships. I do think that if this was just like a work relationship, though it could be an irritant, there is a sense that you would be able to like blow it off as, God, what an asshole, and then go home and be fine. But if it's coming from home, if it's coming like it's where do you escape it? And especially if it's coming from somebody that you have a great deal of emotions for, well then, like, then really taking it personally, essentially. So how do you deal with this? First of all, the moon is only going to be in Aries for a couple of days. So that should basically stabilize a little bit as it moves into Taurus. So because the moon is exalted in Taurus, and even though the moon isn't your ruling planet, it does have a great impact over you. I think the moon impacts all water signs a great deal. If you're dealing with Cancerian especially, there is a little bit of an instability anytime it goes into a fire sign or an air sign, because it's being put into a circumstance or a situation where it has to try to be something or fit into an energy that it never can keep up with, so that should, a couple of days when the moon moves out of Aries, there is a sense of it, things getting a little bit easier for you. But with the large planets and the big planets still moving very slowly, Neptune doesn't go direct until November. So there's just a lot that you're going to have to be aware of, and maybe this reading can help you in that sense of being aware, being like, especially self-awareness, I don't say that to accuse you. I say that because the only thing we really ever can control is ourselves and our own reaction to things. So be extra cautious about, okay, I do feel this, I do think it, but is it true? And at least then you know that you're coming from a fair place. And if you know how to come to a fair place or get yourself there, perhaps you can help somebody else sort of calm down and come to that space as well. Let's get into the oracle cards. See the big picture. So this is long-term planning, and seeing something from almost an aerial view. It's a wonderful, stable energy. It's Taurus energy because it's Taurus energy. So it does have to do a little bit with finances, but it's mostly to do with gentleness and that Venus energy of love and romance. And so there's some sort of relationship that you see going long distance here. There's some energy that you want to see it, like plan on it going long term. Maybe you're actually making plans for something, the construction of a new house, your life together, wedding plans, something that you would be planning. You're seeing it in the distance, not in the future, but you're not looking right here in front of you, is what I'm saying. It's like not being short-sighted when it comes to the circumstances of this relationship. See, it's time to collaborate. It could be time to collaborate financially. In other words, combining your funds with somebody, or working together on a project with somebody in particular, building with somebody, in conjunction with somebody, but definitely not being short-sighted about that. And in terms of not being short-sighted, this is the caveat. It's bringing up and making you realize that there are a lot of different nuances to the dynamic of this relationship that you did not anticipate, could not anticipate, and all the little things are kind of creeping out of the walls right now. So there is a sense of getting that foresight as much as you can and using it to the best of your ability to work on those small things now so that they don't turn into something larger. So if you're coming upon any kind of communication issues or, differences in opinion, there's a sense right now of nipping it in the butt. The only way to do that, however, is to honor it. Like, think about how you would feel, like, always treat somebody how you would be treated, right? So there's a sense of how you would want to be treated. So there's a sense of wanting somebody to listen, wanting somebody to not just listen, but to understand. Hearing is one thing, listening is another. And maybe that's been sort of a complication or a problem right now. So trying to hear their side of things, or get them to understand or hear you in a different way, in a deeper way, for understanding's sake, as opposed to just sort of progress sake or listening. It's like, I understand that you're listening to me and you're kind of going through the rote of, okay, well, I heard you and I obeyed you, but that's not really understanding me, is it? This is about understanding, because if it's not, something's building up here. Something's becoming an irritant, and it's not going to get better unless you address it. This is like the mouse card. This can be very Virgo energy, but lower vibrational Virgo energy, unbalanced Virgo energy, which can get into becoming very judgmental and very critical and nitpicking. And if that is the case, this is just going to keep festering. It's going to keep infesting and infecting the relationship and making it more sick. So there is that call to, remember why you wanted this person in your life to begin with, and have the confidence enough in them enough to see. That's what it is, and that's what I feel. I think that's the issue. Is like you had these expectations of this person, and it's almost like you had a bunch of feelings for somebody before you actually knew them completely. And now you're getting to know them completely, and it's chipping away at what you felt for them. But simultaneously, you don't want to stop feeling what you're feeling for them, because it has been so wonderful, because feeling those things for them make you feel so good. So you don't want to stop. You don't want those feelings to end. But those feelings, and this is where Neptune in retrograde in Pisces is coming in, it's forcing you to see reality, to look at reality, to not be able to get lost in fantasy or in your comfort zone. So this is a challenge, Pisces, to fall in love with somebody or love somebody for exactly who they are, even when they are disappointing you. But there's always that rub that comes the slippery slope of, especially if this is a newer relationship. This is a long-term relationship. It's a little bit, the dynamics are a little bit different, right? But if this is a newer relationship, there is a sense of, okay, how much do I tolerate? And how much am I tolerating for the sake of just being with somebody, as opposed to, do I really like this person? Because with newer relationships, there is a sense of this being, there's this being a, I'm sorry, this hotel is extremely noisy and sometimes it distracts me, and I apologize. I don't like being pulled out of my focus, but it is that mentality, like I just discussed, of why is it that you have decided that you love them? Maybe deciding too quickly that you feel very strongly without knowing completely who they are. Now, this isn't a hopeless situation, because life is speeding up. So this is Gemini energy with things coming together. In other words, things happening very quickly. A new start happening very, very quickly. And it's very beautiful. And there is hold on. Okay, sorry about that. I got the housekeeping knock at the door. So this is sort of a relationship that happened relatively quickly, or that a lot of things that are new are happening to you guys, and you're trying to get it all together. So there's going to be complications and there's going to be conflicts, but this is about really listening in a new way, trying to hear somebody's words in a new way, and the new way being without judgment, without a preconception, just listening without listening for information's sake, listening without, like I said, predetermination. And what that does is it allows you to start putting together the pieces realistically, instead of forcing and shoving the pieces into the places that you wanted them to be to get them to look the way that you wanted them to look. That is possible. You could still do that with this energy, but you're going to be building something that will inevitably crumble, that will inevitably become infested or infected with a bunch of rodents, and in other words, a bigger problem later. So there is an exceptional energy here of listen with new ears, listen with new understanding, put things together with a fresh mindset. This is Aquarian energy. It's very fresh Aquarian energy. It's very innocent Aquarian energy. So it really has to do with the far-reaching implications of what's best for the both of you, what's best for everybody. That's why I think maybe you are planning something right now, planning something that it affects maybe guests or bringing people together. Or it could be there is a sense, I'll say this right now, of new life coming into your world. So if you're a couple planning on a baby or having just found out that you're pregnant, this is a sense of joy. There's a great deal of joy. There's a great deal of excitement, but there's also all these irritants coming up with, oh, well, I thought you wanted it this way. And, oh, I thought we were going to send, the children here or we were going to raise the kids in this religion. Like there is that sense of, oh, I thought so many things had been decided upon. I thought we agreed on so much. But the truth is we never really communicated about these issues. We never really talked about these issues. And they're only just coming up now because we have the challenges in front of us, because we never talked about it hypothetically. But now there are all these little caveats that are coming out and creeping up at you. So this is, hold on. Okay, so this is a lot of things from the past influencing and impacting your future. You are looking forward, and there is forward motion here, but there are ghosts or haunts from the past that have not been dealt with. This is sort of my zombie infection card. This is not so bad that you can't overcome it. In fact, this is the call to overcome it. It's the call to address those things that could trip you up and get in your way and suck you down and not allow you to move forward in order to allow you to move forward. But this is a sense of you really got to get to this. Yeah, take the lead. This is a wonderful energy, but like in conjunction with this energy, there is a sense of I was going to say there is just this sense of leading somebody out of the dark, or taking the lead and taking the first initiative into actually having the difficult discussions or talking about things. But then they're followed up by these two energies, which actually really concern me. This is Cancerian energy. It's a double whammy Cancerian energy. So it's making things happen, and like almost, I'll say this, it's almost like thinking you can solve all of this by yourself and that you can make it all go away by yourself. And it's not true at all. What you really have to do, like your sense of loyalty and devotion, you can fix it all. Like an overprotective mom, you can just fix it all. You can take, but you can't. You can't, and you shouldn't, because it will actually weaken the circumstance of the relationship if you try. And it's almost like trying too hard to do too much, or somebody's trying too hard to do too much. There's also this wonderful sense of having a great deal of admiration for somebody, really having a great deal of admiration for what they could achieve or what they have achieved, and being in a lot of ways inspired by them, but on the undertone also being a little bit envious and jealous, and feeling like, well, I have to up my game. But the truth is, this isn't a competition. And if you make it a competition, then it really isn't a good relationship anymore, is it? It's just more about ego than it is about caring for each other and being supportive and helping each other. So it's like really about, Pisces, it's about redetermining or reevaluating your motivations for things, and where those motivations come from. Like, how did you come to the conclusions that ended up motivating you? Because there's a lot of, the cards are saying that there's a lot of misinterpretation that has led you to conclusions that is now motivating you in ways that are bringing you further away from that gentle sense of self that you usually have. Because this is Virgo energy in reverse. It is about being a little too harsh, speaking a little bit too harshly, determining things or deciding things a little bit too quickly, and stating them and making moves based on these mentalities, as opposed in this way, you know, like a bull in a china shop, you know. And it's, I mean, I guess it all depends on how important the china is to you, but in general, it's not, it could just be making you or them, whoever you're dealing with, look extremely bad, instead of really bringing out the best sides of yourself. There is just this sense of, I need to do this, I need to fix this, I need to handle this, and handling it really abrasively. That's very uncommon for you. But there's just an abrasiveness here that, because it's uncommon for you and because it was unexpected, it could be causing these issues and these surprises in the other person. So let's get into the angel cards, because, hold on, I have to sneeze. Yeah, let's get into the angel cards, because they always offer such wonderful wisdom. Let's see what the spirit guides have to say about this circumstance right now, because it certainly is far from hopeless. But I think the longer it goes without being spoken about, without being addressed, the worse it gets. You know, this is a little thing that could become like the mouse spirit energy. These are little things that could be growing into such big things that start to spiral, and it makes you lose those things in your life that you could care about the most for stupid reasons, would ultimately end up to be stupid reasons. And I don't say that to, you know, diminish your beliefs or anything. I say that because is this really as important? It seems so important right now, but is this really as important as you're making it, or as they're making it? You know, it's like, what should be more important? And I know, I get it, that there's a great challenge. Let's start with the cards. There's a lot of them here that came out upright. Sacred knowledge. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Feel the peace within. Beyond your thoughts lies your eternal truth, the I am presence of eternal love. This is getting back to source, getting back to truth, cutting through the ego and getting back to that place that doesn't have any ego, just the light that shines inside of yourself, and giving yourself time, because there does seem to be like you're rushed, like you're in competition with somebody, like you're being, and you're not. You're really, really not. It seems that way, but you're really not. Sacred knowledge, and then is followed by sacred space. We, your guardian angels, surround you with emerald, gold, and rose pink light. Surrender your concerns and worries and enter the sacred space of love and healing. So they are pushing you to take a break, to give over to them and allow them to just there's almost this sense of you being thrust into a circumstance too quickly, or like in a pace that you don't really like or really, really love. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with Neptune being in retrograde in Pisces right now. You're just uncomfortable, and so you're trying to rush through it. But the discomfort actually has the ability to teach you so much and show you so much. So don't skip these lessons, because you are safe. And if you need to go slower, I think that's the overall message behind this. This is the overall message, is go slower. You know, take that time for yourself. Don't rush things, even though it's uncomfortable. Rushing it could break it. Healing angel. This is all about healing. At this very moment, you are being bathed in gold, pink, and deep green light. Double whammy. So if you've been seeing those colors, or drawn to those colors, or seeing little flashes of light, gold, green, pink. In other words, you're surrounded right now by angels and guides that want to help you heal and to create a safe space for you in order to heal. And so they're guiding you to do that for yourself in the 3D, to get back to a space where you feel comfortable again, because right now you're sort of spiraling and it's getting out of control as much as you don't want to admit that it is. At this very moment, you are being bathed in gold, pink, and deep green light. Accept this healing. We, your angels, surround you with wings of love. You are eternally free, eternally fresh, and eternally abundant. Positive outcome. The sun is about to burst through the clouds, and you will see things in a different light. This is about changing perspective. Something that previously seemed hopeless will soon be filled with nothing but hope. So you're reacting emotionally to something that you feel disconnected from. You feel like it spiraled. You almost kind of know that somehow you had a part in it. And there's a sense of guilt that you're trying to run away from and escape from. This is a sense of slow down. Let it all come at you. And understand that it is actually going to turn out better than you expect, but it's going to turn out better from the other side, not with anything that you can do right now, because you doing more may just be exacerbating the issue. So this is about having faith and knowing things are going to work out if you just allow things to work themselves out. Now this is healing. So much healing here, Pisces. I, the angel of healing, am with you right now. Feel my presence and my unwavering love for you. I have loved you before the dawn of time, and I will love you for all eternity. I love you, Pisces. I love you, I love you, I love you. Over and over again, repeatedly. You are loved even when you're not perfect. Imagine, clearly visualize the life you want, feel it in your heart and soul, and so it will come to be. You are moving on the right track in some way, really dignifying all that you want to create. This is a wonderful time for you to, even though you feel uncomfortable and you feel awkward, Keep working at those things that you really believe in and those things that really excite you, and following your imagination. Wisdom. Everything has a place and a purpose. To be wise is to have great love, tolerance, and compassion for all things. And I think this is how it's playing out. Because of that retrograde, there's a sense of overanalyzing and being overcritical of your own dreams and your own goals and your own ideas, where normally you wouldn't be like that. You just trust them. With retrograde, you sort of have this doubt that you never had before. And it's that overanalysis that's actually, it's the attention to the overanalysis. The overanalysis is just, all retrogrades can provide great insights. So if you look at it that way, then it could give you a great deal of knowledge that is helpful to you. But taking it personally and making it deconstruct your emotional connection to your dreams, your goals, is what the issue is. So how do we deal with that? Accept the discomfort and don't overanalyze the discomfort. Change. Wow, life is a journey. It would be very unfulfilling if each step was exactly the same as the last. Because life is always changing, it is forever fresh and new. Allow your life to unfold gracefully. Be grateful for what was, is, and forever will be. So this is a beautiful time of change and transformation. And it's once again a statement of, you don't have to rush this. It's going to happen naturally. And last but not least, fear. I, Archangel Michael, and he's been appearing in all of these readings, am here to help you through the present time. I love you. I protect you and keep you safe. Trust that all is well. Accept my love and allow it to dissolve your fear. And with that, I'm going over to the extended. Please join me. The link is below. I'll see you over there, Pisces.